All right, hey everybody. Hello everyone. This is Dave Denton, Independent Outsider, and a ton's been going on lately. So I'm gonna focus on one particular thing that I saw, and there's a lot of stuff going on with Julian Assange right this second. But I know from modding and from doing some things with the Unity for J movement. I've heard a lot of people wanting to have Joe Rogan on as a guest or as a commentator, and he recently, I believe it was November the 8th. So what? That was Thursday, I think it was. Um, he spoke about Assange with someone, and I hope that I'm getting the name right. Michael, it's Malice. Michael Malice or Malice. I'm not sure the pronunciation. My apologies. But there were a few things that I took issue with, and maybe you think they're a little picky, or but I want to I want to talk about them really quickly. Uh, First thing is, in the description, I put the the link to the clip. I just want you to watch it if you get a second. Um, but here, I think it's about three things. Yeah, three things that kind of bugged me a little bit. The first one was that there was a false equivalency on Julian Assange's detainment to it being like Al Capone, because Julian Assange was detained originally for a trumped up rape allegation or sexual assault allegation, and it's really not what the United States or the United Kingdom wants him for. They want him for telling the truth and actually doing his job. Well, Joe Rogan said it was a lot like uh, a lot like Al Capone, and no, Al Capone was a criminal. Al Capone was you know, was a mobster who did uh, did have some legitimate businesses. He cornered the market. He created a monopoly on milk, and really fueled the Teamsters Union. But other than that, Julian's doing his job. So I understand where they're coming from, and that the charge was, or it wasn't even a charge. He wasn't even charged. Julian wasn't charged. So the allegation was completely different than what they really wanted him for. That's true, but Julian never was involved in criminal activity. So the second one, the the comment was that Donald Trump would like Julian Assange because conspiracy-minded people would be drawn to Assange. Okay, well, first off, Trump liked Assange, and there was a YouTube clip about him just saying, WikiLeaks, 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 WikiLeaks. Oh, look at this WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is awesome. WikiLeaks, because that's when WikiLeaks was criticizing Hillary, and it's like everything else, where if you're criticizing the other side, of course you're going to be like, yay, those guys. But if they're criticizing you, you're going to take issue with it. Um, Michael Malice mentioned that he knows uh, Cassandra Fairbanks, and that she mentioned that Trump was upset with Assange, something, some charge Assange had, on him. I don't know what specific thing that he brought up, and that she basically said, "Well, it's kind of off the any any deal is off the table now." I don't know exactly what that is. Uh, what I would say is get Cassandra on, um, because a lot of the comments that Joe was making, I think she would have called him out on it. Conspiracy-minded person would like Assange. That's that Trump is conspiracy-minded. I don't know, possibly, but conspiracy-minded people would like Julian Assange. Uh, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, they're publishing what the government says. They're publishing facts. They're publishing statements. There's no there's no conspiracy to it. I mean, people can build a conspiracy based on, documents, but he's publishing, and the WikiLeaks is publishing pure fact, or what was said. So I don't know where that comes from. Also, there is a very strict vetting process on the information. So to link WikiLeaks and Assange with conspiracy, no. And the third thing, Joe Rogan said this straight out and almost as a joke. Uh, who the hell's running WikiLeaks now that Assange is gone? After Assange was stripped of his rights, there have been a couple of major uh, publishing things. I believe it was the ICE files. I might be wrong on that, but I know that the addresses of Amazon facilities have been published, which was a huge thing, like very secretive um, information. So someone is running WikiLeaks in Julian's absence. It isn't a one-man show. So that to me was kind of a false statement. And I mean, the last one that kind of struck me is that um, any whistleblowers that Russia gives asylum to is given asylum as an FU to the United States. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. I would think that anyone currently in Russia right now may with asylum may be able to answer that question, but I don't really know. I think that the United States isn't the center of every single little thing. I think it's more complicated. It's probably more complicated than that. And the UK is involved, and Sweden's involved, and Ecuador is involved. Of course, the United States is a giant part of it. But you have the Five Eyes. You have Susie with New Zealand. Snowden, of course, with the United States. Julian is his home country. So, Julian with Australia. I just, how you kind of made that statement and you didn't show any facts. You're just like having a conversation, but like, I don't know, you just threw it out there. But those were a few things that kind of bugged me about the whole thing. And Joe Rogan is extremely influential. So if he's going to comment, if Joe Rogan is going to comment on Julian Assange, I would hope that he brings Cassandra Fairbanks on, that he brings uh, Kim.com or Susie Dawson or or Elizabeth Leah Voss or someone involved, at the top of the structure of Unity for J, or Kitty Hundle, someone like that. I'm a little I was a little disappointed because it was just kind of a casual conversation, and they just threw out unproven fact, or it wasn't facts, obviously, but unproven hypotheses that even I knew weren't true. So that's pretty much all I have. I just wanted to come on real quick and say it, but yeah, watch it, but just watch it with a discerning ear, because those are the things that bugged me. Julian Assange is not Al Capone. He didn't commit a crime under any circumstances. I understand. I get it. I understand the the comparison as far as what he was charged with, or he wasn't even charged. That's the thing. What he allegedly did was not what they're upset about him doing. He was cleared by the UN back in 2016. So, or the UN decided it wasn't, but the UN stated that his rights were being violated and he should be set free or not be placed in confinement. So, and I think the conspiracy-minded people comment was probably the one that bothered me the most, because they're discrediting the information that's being given out. So, and I'm just a guy. I'm still doing my research, and I understand it's a conversational thing, but I hope that someone hears this, and if someone does speak with Joe, he seems like a really open-minded guy, which is why he throws theories out. Then he's open to he listens. I've heard him before. Oh wow, I didn't know that. So it's kind of a very conversational style that he has, but I know a lot of people listen to Joe Rogan. So anyone who listens to Joe Rogan, if this is the style that he has, I mean, I wouldn't trust him as a news source, because he's just talking. He's just having a conversation. He doesn't have articles in front of him, or in this instance, at least he didn't. So they were just having a conversation. But I would hope that if anyone had him on, or if Unity for J had him on, that they would have a conversation about this and set them straight on a couple of things. Those were the three that, or the 3 or 4 things that I caught, and it was just like a 10-minute clip, and I've been talking 14 minutes about it. So, anyway, my name's Dave Denton again, independent outsider. I hope this is informative. Just when you're listening to stuff like this, just listen with a discerning ear, and just you know, think critically and take a look at all the evidence. That's all I can really say. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Thanks to the 8 people that showed up, and Independent Outsider out. I'm I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. And I'm also on Proton Mail. If you guys want to email me, it's ndo@protonmail.com. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything like that, or any news articles that I need to take a look at. So thanks everybody. Independent Outsider out.